That's God willing. I'm trying to change the world. Gotta teach the children. I ain't never letting up. I gotta stack a billion. Stay away from the fake like they reptilian. Hill game on the rise. Know we all killing. I got blood in my eyes and I can't see.
Some people did not like the way I made up his Hokage last time, and so I'm gonna redo what I did last time, and I'm gonna exceed more in the story, and this will be the finale. It will be the final for the 5th Hokage one. Okay, so let's get into it. And so Naruto is facing Gaara when he just leaped off of Gambabunta's head. Garsen is about to crush him, but then Naruto's bloodline awakened. So this bloodline is from the mix of the Uzumaki and Namikaze clan. And let me explain. So in this one, the Sage of Six Paths had a third son. But his third son was before Ashura and Indra. And so this third son has made a family with I'm gonna say 10 Namikaze children. But he died before Ashura and Indra, sadly. He died because he rebelled against Hagoromo because he wanted to make the world different than what Hagoromo envisioned, but Hagoromo sadly had to kill him. And Hagoromo never wanted to talk about this because it was one of his worst regrets. And he did this because his son wanted to make the world built off of fear. He wanted to make people fear him, fear Hagoromo and him, to make sure that they don't rebel. But Hagoromo wanted to build on peace. And so they fought, and the third son died. But Hagoromo didn't do anything to his children or his wife. And so they've just built on the clan and calling it the Namikaze clan. So the Namikaze clan got built, but then they joined the Senju against the Uchiha, and they got killed off to like a few members, and Minato is one of them. And since and so for this one, the third person, he's going to have he had the Rinnegan because Indra had the Sharingan and Ashura had the body, you could say. And I'm gonna call him Josh. Yes, his name will be Joshua or something, and he will have the Rinnegan. And so it's hard to awaken, and most of the time they needed the other side of the blood, like the Uzumaki clan blood. And luckily Minato married Kushina. And so the blood will mix because the Senju is cousin with the Uzumaki and stuff. And so he has the body and the ocular, you know what I mean. And so Naruto, right when Gaara is about to crush Naruto, his eyes awakened. And so since it's not like Madara when he adds cells, this is Naruto's actual body. And so Naruto can also turn off the eyes, of course, since it's his, not anybody else's. And so since that, his Rinnegan will be stronger than Pain's by default. And so yeah, because it comes within his blood, know what I mean? Like, it's like, say Hashirama has some Makuten. If a person can combine like elements into sub-elements, they could probably make like some kind of Mokuten, but it wouldn't be really as strong as Hashirama's because it's in the blood. No, so you know what I mean? And so that's what I mean. It's like with Fuin Jutsu, the Uzumaki clan is the best, but other people can still use it. And so, yeah, Naruto does Shinran Tensei, Almighty Push. And so then it blasts Gaara away, and it destroys the Hoshukaku. And so Naruto's falling to the ground, and he is able to tree hop on some trees, but then falls down to his knees, landing right next to Gaara. Gaara is heavily injured and because he just got an almighty push to the face. Who wouldn't be? But anyways, Gaara is heavily injured and Gaara can't get up because Gaara had the gravity just kept on hitting Gaara against trees to hit him all the way into the ground. And so Naruto wins. And so when Sasuke jumps down, he says he has a dojutsu. And Sasuke is amazed. And so he thinks that he's heard of or saw these eyes in the journal in the Uchiha clan, but he can't put his mind on it. But he vows to check in the Uchiha clan library. But then Jiraiya jumps down. Yes, this is I'm gonna make it later, and so like Anbu were watching the fight, like Nico and even Asuma came to watch to see what was happening because they saw Bunta. And so when they saw this, and they also saw a nine-tailed fox, and so yeah, and so when they see Naruto's eyes, Jiraiya's like the Rinnegan, and so Jiraiya tells Naruto to make chakra in his eyes go away, and Naruto complies, and Jiraiya says, "How? How is this possible?" Because, look, Jiraiya thought that you just can't turn off the eyes of the Rinnegan, but Naruto did it. And so Jiraiya is amazed at the power that Naruto will have. And since this is natural of some kind, Naruto's just the best. And like Jiraiya was like, this lucky kid, I swear. And so Naruto gains the Rinnegan. You already know. Well, anyways, Naruto is happy. And so after this, Naruto passes out and Jiraiya takes Naruto to the hospital. And so after this, Naruto decides that when he wakes up, he wants to go try his new eyes. But then Jiraiya appears, but before he turns it on, it says, "Let me help you. I learned that Nagato was able to control gravity, and has and can use jutsu of all of the elements." And so Naruto nods and says, "Let's go, Jiraiya Sensei." And Jiraiya chuckles and says, "Okay, Naruto, let's try your gravity abilities. I believe you can push and pull people. And so try it." And so Naruto nodded, and so then he tried out his push ability, and so Jiraiya says, let's go to a boulder." And so they found this big boulder, just this big boulder out of nowhere, and says, "Do your push ability." And Naruto says, "Shinran Tensei, almighty push." And so Naruto is able to blast the boulder off its hinges, and Jiraiya tells Naruto, "How about you try to compress it into one area, and so you get the maximum amount of damage." And Naruto nodded, and so they keep practicing this for hours, the push ability. And Jiraiya says, "Well, Naruto, that's good for today. I gotta go I gotta go to the capital so they can vote for a new Hokage." And Naruto says, "Do you think they'll make me Hokage? I will be the best Hokage." And then puffing out his chest, and Jiraiya chuckles at Naruto, saying, "We'll see, kid. We'll see." And so Jiraiya also gives Naruto and says, "Naruto, try to use this jutsu. It's called the Rasengan." And Naruto nodded and says, "Okay, Jiraiya Sensei, I'll learn this Rasengan and then I'll become Hokage." And Jiraiya chuckled and says, "Whoop, Naruto, see ya." And so Jiraiya has to get to the capital in 1 week, while Naruto is practicing this new jutsu Jiraiya gave him. And so this jutsu that Jiraiya gave him, it is very it's the Rasengan, of course. And Jiraiya also gave him some jutsu of all chakra natures also. And so Naruto's learning this non-stop while Sasuke is angry. And so the reason my Sasukun is angry is because Naruto has the Rinnegan. So he found out what the Rinnegan was. It is stronger than the Sharingan. And Sasuke is like, how? And how does he have this dojutsu from the Sage of Six Paths? How does the dope have this? That's a power for me. And so Sasuke is mad that that Naruto has the Rinnegan, but is also low key happy because Naruto is some kind Sasuke's family, you could say. I mean, it goes all the way back to the Sage of Six Paths, but it's still like Sasuke is still related to him, but it's like far like it goes back to the brothers of the Sage of Six Paths. That's how far it goes into. Literally, that's how far it goes. But they're still related. But anyways, Naruto is well, Naruto is happy and he's training, and so after Jiraiya comes back, well, I'm gonna tell you what happens in the capital. So, literally, like everybody's there. Danzo's there, Kaharu, Hamura, everybody's there, and even like the Jonin commander Shikaku, the Anbu commander, Tiger, you know what I mean, everybody. And so when the Daimyo says, does anybody want to suggest them to become Hokage? And so Shikaku says, Jiraiya, do you want to become Hokage? And so Jiraiya says, nah, it's not my job. Like, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me. You know what I'm saying? And so, well, then Danzo says, I want to become Hokage. Oh. Well, you know Danzo, man. Danzo don't play, man. You know what I'm saying? But he says, I want to become Hokage. And so then Jiraiya gets actually scared for a second. Then he remembers when Naruto said, then he says, I vote Naruto Uzumaki. And so Jiraiya was just kidding. You know Jiraiya's childish nature. But then the Daimyo actually thought, that blonde kid that beat that Hyuga, and I heard he beat that sand kid. And that transformed into the first tail Shukaku. And so the male says, actually, how did he beat him? And Jiraiya smiled, knowing this would get the Daimyo happy. He says, Naruto Uzumaki has awakened the fabled Rinnegan. Okay. Pause for a second. See, so the Daimyo probably knows what the Rinnegan is, and Jiraiya probably told the third Hokage about not like Nagato, and that he had so much power with the Rinnegan, and that Naruto can actually turn it off and it's not permanently on, and so it doesn't deplete Naruto's chakra. Not like Nagato had tons of chakra anyways because he was a Uzumaki, but it wouldn't affect Naruto's chakra as much as it would for not like Nagato, and so he wouldn't really need those chakra receivers and stuff that Nagato did. And so, it'll be better for Naruto. And so the male says, the fabled Rinnegan. I've heard Sarutobi tell me about you and the AIM kids. And Jiraiya nodded grimly and says yes. But Naruto can actually turn it off. And so the Daimyo actually sat up like in his chair and says, wait, I thought that AIM kid could only turn it, like, you know. And so Jiraiya nodded, saying, well, this one's different for some reason. he can turn it off, and the rings are different. Because I believe not like Nagato's Rinnegan is different from Hagoromo's. But let me check. There is a difference. There's a tomo inside of there's 3 tomos inside of or there's like some tomos for Nagato's for Hagoromo's. And so I'm gonna say that Naruto will have like Sasuke's Rinnegan. No, not Sasuke's. I'm gonna give him Hagoromo's. Yeah, Hagoromo. Yeah, I'll give him Hagoromo's Rinnegan. And so I'll give Naruto like an extra ability or something that makes his Rinnegan unique from the others. But that'll go later in the story. So let's resume it so I can get this finale done. Okay. And so he says that Naruto's is different than not from Nagato's for some reason. And so well, what's his name? The Mayo says, "Ooh, so you say." And so the DeMeo says, "Actually, he reminds me of somebody. Who are his parents?" And so then Shikaku, Donzo, and everybody starts to sweat. Donzo's sweating because he knows that if the DeMeo finds out about Naruto's heritage, all his plans are foiled. And Jiraiya smiled, thinking, "Yes, I got him. I got it, Naruto." And so, so Jiraiya puffed out his chest and said, "Naruto is the son of Minato Namikaze from the Namikaze clan, and Kushina Uzumaki from the Uzumaki clan, that are cousins to the Senju clan." And Kushina were Kushina was related to Mito, because I'm gonna say she was part of the royal house, because she was part of the royal house and Uzugakure. And so when that happened, freaking Naruto's is somewhat related to Tsunade and all the children of Hashirama and Mito. And Naruto's somewhat, it's not related to Hashirama, but he kind of is, because he's still related to Hashirama. He still is, but you know what I mean. Closer than the Sons of the Sage of Sixth Path. Okay, well, let's get into it. And so freaking the DeMeo is happy. It's thinking, related to the Senju clan from the Uzumaki, from the Namikaze clan, and because the Namikaze clan were friends with the Senju, so yeah, they're, you know what I mean. And so the DeMeo likes Naruto's record, plus Minato was in Hokage, was the Hokage, and so Naruto's record's great because he literally is the closest thing to Tsunade, and Naruto is related to Tsunade. And so the DeMeo's like, heck yeah. And so he says, so how did he beat that Garo kid? Did he use the Jinchuriki power? And Jiraiya smiled even more, thinking that he can get the DeMeo. And he said, nope, not an ounce of Biju chakra I sensed. And he said this was all due to his Uzumaki chakra and the Rinnegan in the end. And so, the DeMeo smiles and thinks, how strong is he with his Rinnegan? Do you think, Jiraiya? And Jiraiya says, I think he is low Jonin with his Rinnegan, but I gave him some jutsu, and if he mastered those, he could become mid to high Jonin. And so the DeMeo says, Jiraiya, I'll give you a month with him. A whole month. No peeping or anything chuckling at Jiraiya. Knowing of Jiraiya's book. And he says, if he gets to cage level in 1 month with you, hard training with his Rinnegan, especially, and getting more jutsu and battle experience, he will become the fifth Hokage. And you can also go search for Tsunade because we need to get back to the medical court and heal our injured. I was gonna pick Tsunade, but she's been out the village way too long, and she'll be a bad choice. And in the Demeo also said, oh, and Danzo, right when the new Hokage gets elected, he'll be taking your route. And Danzo's like, what are you talking about? The third Hokage took away my route. And the Demeo chuckles and says, Danzo, you think I'm stupid? I've checked your little route with my samurai, and we found where your root base is, and if you don't, I'll be charging you with treason. And so Donzo, knowing he can't do anything, concedes. He's trying to think of a plan, but he can't. He can't make an army all by himself since they've taken the root from him. And so now it's going to be like this. The DeMeo says that every person who doesn't pass shall go to root for extenuous training, and the Hokage at that time will allow you to be the root Anbu commander, but you will also add your seal for going with the person that's there, and if you don't, I will be going on a checkup with your roots, and you'll be charged with treason. And so, don't do it, Danzo. And so Danzo actually smiles at this because he's happy, because he still gets to keep his roots, and if the Hokage is not good enough, he'll just talk to the Daimyo, or if the Hokage does good, he doesn't really want to be Hokage that much. He just wants the village to be in safe hands, and he believes he's the one, but then he now knows that that's not going to happen, and now he has some more resources for his root, and so now the root can get even bigger and better, of course. And so, well, now, what's going to happen? Oh yeah, the 1 month training arc, while training with Tsunade. And so, after a week later, the DeMeo also makes the council temporary head of the village, and so for a month. And so, well, right now Jiraiya comes back and says, Naruto, the DeMeo says we're going on a 1 month training trip, and if you become cage level, you will become Hokage. Congratulations. And so Naruto smiles and says, let's go, Jiraiya Sensei. And so Jiraiya asks, so how far did you get on the Rasengan? And Naruto says that he has gotten the first and second step done. Because in this one, Jiraiya's not playing around and saying that he needs to figure it out on himself. Naruto actually needs to be trained. And so he's the steps are in it. So the first step's rotation. And so Naruto figured it out after 1 week. And so Jiraiya says, well, we're going to use your shadow clones as training. They transfer the memories, and Naruto says, wait, really? I can't wait. I'm going to become Hokage in no time. Pumping his fist in the air, and Jiraiya chuckles and says, well, we'll be leaving tonight, and so get your things ready, and we'll be heading off. And so Naruto nods and says, whoop, let's get going. And so Naruto forgets to tell his teammates, and so that he left. And so, well, now Jiraiya says, make your shadow clones, and you'll be training with me on your taijutsu. We're going to be using the Uzuken for your taijutsu because that's stronger than um than your father's, because and so Naruto's like, wait, who's my father and mother? And Jiraiya says, I knew I'd have to tell you this one day, Naruto. Your father is the fourth Hokage, and your mother is Kushina Uzumaki. So, yeah. And so Naruto looks down and says, why didn't Kakashi Sensei tell me? And Jiraiya says, Minato Namikaze was had tons of enemies and stuff, and so he wanted to tell you when you were ready, but now Naruto, due to circumstances, you're ready. And so Naruto nods and says, "Okay, Jiraiya Sensei, I'll do my best and honor my parents." And so Jiraiya chuckles and says, "I believe in you, Naruto." And so Jiraiya tells Naruto to make 50 shadow clones, 10 of them doing the Uzukin, the Uzukin Taijutsu. Another 10 do chakra control. Wait, does the Rinnegan give you perfect chakra control? Does the Rinnegan give? Hold up, I'll be back. It does give the person perfect chakra control, but since he won't have it on at all times, of course, Naruto will just do tons of like like chakra control stuff without it and with it, to so when he uses it with it, he gets used to it, and so he gets used to regulating his chakra control without his Rinnegan, because he can't just be overly dependent on it, since he can turn it off and on, which is overall better, because Naruto shouldn't be depending on the Rinnegan. Nagato uses the Rinnegan overly too much. He depends on it. Like, without the Rinnegan, Nagato would be weak. Literally. He'll be Jonin level without the Rinnegan. But it's the Rinnegan, so, you know. And so, well, now, Naruto decides that, he will, start training more. And so, 30, starts, 30, oh yeah, 30 goes back to Konoha and gets tons of books. And 40, 40, oh yeah, 40 will practice the Rasengan. I mean, not 40, but the 40th. 10 more. And the 50 will start practicing jutsu. That Jiraiya told him. And so Naruto himself is going to be doing physical training. And Jiraiya summons Fukasaku and Shima and tells them Naruto will be doing physical training at Mount Miyaboku. And Naruto's not going to do sage training yet, because the sage training is supposed to be a multiplier. And so Naruto will get it during the time skip, but I'm not going to give it to him now because it wouldn't change anything due to his strength level and his height and reach and all that kind of stuff. So it wouldn't be a great idea to do sage training just yet. But anyways, Naruto starts doing his doing hard, very hard physical training, and Jiraiya gives him resistance seals, and they're going to be upping resistance seals every single week they have to get Naruto stronger in this short amount of time. And Jiraiya at first wanted to start training him in that Biju chakra, but he noticed that Naruto has the Rinnegan. He can literally, if he masters the Rinnegan, he will become the strongest. And so, yeah, and they also start training him some Fuin Jutsu to get him up in that. And so Naruto is training in that. And so after 2 weeks, Naruto is on level 2 resistance seals and is upping it to the third one. And he has learned tons on tons of jutsu. He's learned 50 jutsu in total. and he's also learned the Shunsen and all that other stuff. And he has also started to be able to use the Rinnegan to a better ability, especially like the seeing part of it, and he can also fight with it. See, the problem with Naruto at first was he couldn't fight with in conjunction with the Rinnegan. It's the same problem for like Uchiha and Hyuga. They first needs to learn how to fight in conjunction with their dojutsu, so it doesn't become a handicap. And so Naruto also learns that he can't rely on something like the Uchiha clan did and think that he was just almighty strong and all that stuff. And so, well, now Naruto has has become really stronger. Jiraiya thinks that Naruto is about um mid to high Jonin level at this point because and like this is with his Rinnegan active and using tons of jutsu, like Almighty Push and all that other stuff. And he also learned that he can summon with like summon animals of his wanting. And so it's weird with the toad summoning. And so I'm gonna say that for his Naruto's like left hand or something, that will be his hand that he summons the toads with, and with his right, that's with the Rinnegan animals. And so Naruto also learns how to do combination jutsu with those also, like with the eagle thing ish. He like the eagle spits out fire, and Naruto adds wind to it, and so yeah, and so since Naruto is able to do that, um, he has gotten very, very, very stronger. And so, well, now Shima, like currently, is making Naruto's Hokage cloak. It like this, like it's like the cloak that you see right there, but it's like Minato's though, man, Minato's bro. Don't even cap Minato's Hokage cloak is dope, and Naruto also is wearing Minato's undergarments, and it like this is the thing that Minato wanted Naruto to wear when he grown up and stuff, and so it's like Minato's, but it doesn't have that little thing across that connects it, but it's like Minato's. It's like Minato's, basically. It's basically just like it. Besides the orange at the bottom. And so in this one, it's blue and green, wanting to make his father show his father some love. And so Naruto's is basically just like it. And so Naruto now, the month training is up after 2 weeks later. And so after a month of training, Naruto has become Sannin level with his Rinnegan, but without, he's high Jonin. Mid Jonin. I'm gonna give him mid Jonin. Mid Jonin without his Rinnegan, but with it, he's just on another level. He's on another level. Know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, man? You know what I'm saying, man? But anyways, since he's already Sannin, like, because he's Sannin level because of that, because he was able to learn about his gravity ability a bit more, and he learned summoning ability, and so he's also learning about his other abilities of the Rinnegan, and so Naruto now heads back to the village. And so the Fire Daimyo arrives to see Naruto. And like the Daimyo looks at Naruto and says, "Oh my god, he looks just like his father when he was a little boy." And so, well, now Naruto is ready, can to be Hokage. And so, the Daimyo asks Naruto to fight basically all the Jonin in a fight, a battle royale of sorts. You know what I'm saying? And so Kakashi, like in all the Jonin, says, "Why are we fighting this little kid? Like, why are we fighting Naruto?" And so, and so the the Demeo says Naruto has been gone training with Jiraiya for 1 month, because you heard that he beat Gara Shukaku, and they nodded, and he says, if Naruto beats all you guys, he will become Hokage. And so they nod, and Naruto gets ready, and Naruto turns on his eyes right off the bat, and Kakashi lifts up his headband already, knowing that he about to get it, and so Naruto wants to even out the odds, and makes it's the elite Jonin, and so Naruto makes 5 shadow clones, and so Naruto says, spread out, and so they all says, Shinran Tensei, almighty push, and they all make them go in different areas, and but all the Jonin flipping where they get hit off of, and so Naruto takes Kakashi, and the others take the other Jonin, and so Kurenai is going to get bodied. I'm sorry, and so it's not like with the the Sharingan that that you can just make genjutsu. But it's like with the Byakugan, they can see through the genjutsu unless it's like Itachi or something like Itachi's infinite Tsukiyomi. You know what I mean? It's like with that. And so, yeah. And so, Naruto's fighting them and bodying Kurenai. And with Asuma's doing mainly wind attacks, and Naruto can counter with his fire ninjutsu, and so it's kind of unfair. It's it's kind of unfair. You can't really do much. And so, sadly, Asuma gets bodied. And so with Kakashi, this is actually a good one. And so Kakashi starts weaving through jutsu, but Naruto weaves through the same jutsu. Not faster, but he can do with a shorter amount of hand seals. And so when Kakashi says fire style, great fireball jutsu, Naruto says water style, water encampment wall. And it makes tons of steam. And so Naruto then says Shinran Tensei, almighty pull. And so it pulls Kakashi towards him. And then Naruto does an axe kick, hitting Kakashi's face into the dirt. And so the Rinnegan is overpowered, let's be honest. It's just with the Diva Path, he's overpowered. And so Naruto just gets in a heated battle in Taijutsu now, and he's actually doing great against Kakashi. And so Naruto finally, after 30 minutes of fighting, is able to beat Kakashi. And so, now Naruto becomes now it's Naruto versus Might Guy. And so Might Guy goes 7th gate on Naruto, and so Naruto's low-key getting bullied around, but he's doing something that he's getting ready to use. This is Naruto's ultimate attack. It is called Wind Style Sinkhole. So this jutsu is an S class. It makes a person lose speed slowly but surely, and so it's sunk. It's sink, sucks their speed up, and so and then then the wind goes to Naruto, and so then Naruto is slowly overpowering Might Guy after 40 minutes of getting bullied. So then Naruto finally strikes back with a huge punch. Naruto makes 10 shadow clones, and then says Uzumaki Renden, and then kicks Might Guy up, and then bullies Might Guy in the sky, and then he says almighty push right to the ground, knocking out my guy, and Naruto becomes the victor. And so Naruto smiles, but then he passes out because he just beat all the elite Jonin. And so and so then Jiraiya says, "Good job, Naruto. You did it. You become Hokage." And the Demeo looks in awe at the sheer power of Naruto. Yeah, power, my guy. Power. Yeah. I don't know why I yelled it, but yeah, power. 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 And so Naruto becomes Hokage, and so they they start to announce at the top of the Hokage head. And so when Naruto gets announced, the crowd first boos and stuff, but then they announce that Naruto's the son of the fourth Hokage. Uh, what's the crowd gonna say? And then they announce that Naruto actually beat Gaara, not Sasuke, not your precious Uchiha. And then they say Naruto is a hero, and actually all the Jinchuriki, all the Uzumaki Jinchuriki before them have become has helped the village out. And so you guys are spitting on the Uzumaki clan and the Senju clan at the same time since they were cousins. And so they say actually Naruto in somewhat way is related to all the Hokage besides our late third Hokage. And so all of them look ashamed, and so then they start cheering for Naruto, saying, "Hey, we're sorry, please bask in our approval." And Naruto says, "I will not hold a grudge against you guys. I just want to become the best Hokage I can." And and then he yells, "We shall make the leaf go into a better future." And so they scream, they cheer, and everything. And so, in this one, Naruto and Jiraiya went to Takigakur and the snow to help them out instead of the whole Team 7. And so Naruto gets favor in all those countries. That's to make up for like the miss that he'll get. And so Naruto as his first thing of business, asks them to help rebuild the leaf, and the leaf will give them protection. And so leaf tuning will go there and live there and protect them, as like protecting in the snow or spring now will help them out with technology, with tons of technology. And they will have one of their best scientists go to the leaf to become the head scientist. And so after that happens, after the transfer and all that stuff happens, Naruto um also takes land from the sand to make the fire country's borders extend. And also Naruto decides that he wants the fire borders to be better, and so anything from fire country, there'll be this big border wall to keep the Iowa out in other countries, like Donald Trump. And so, well, now Naruto is happy. He thinks that he's doing good so far, and he also has Root do all the A and S rank missions, and he has the regular Anbu be like the police force or stuff. And so Danzo is amazed at the ingenuity of Naruto, because Root is stronger and has more quantity than regular Anbu, because they're like they don't have emotion into their choices, which is really good for being an Anbu. And so they also are getting more people, and so well, I guess. And so will Sakura and Sasuke come to see Naruto? And Sakura says, "Naruto baka, you're not even stronger than me. How are you, Hokage?" And so Naruto flares his chakra, getting tired of Sakura, and she backs up and says, "I'm sorry, Naruto. Please forgive me for my discretions." And Sasuke smirks and says, Good job, Naruto. Naruto says, sure. And Naruto says, actually, I got something to tell you. And so Sasuke got tricked by Madara. Let's be honest. Obito manipulated on Sasuke's emotions so that he could join his group, Akatsuki. And so Naruto tells Sasuke that Itachi was a pacifist and all that stuff about why Itachi did what he did. And Sasuke nods and says, I want to join Root. And Naruto says, okay, Team 7 will be disbanded and you will join Root. But you still have to keep a figurehead, and so I can't give you that seal. And Sasuke nods. And so Naruto is happy for the chance for the Root, because Root is getting tons of missions done, and Root is like the main Leaf Village. And so they are literally making sure the spies don't come in, and the actual Anbu don't just stay in the village. And so they are the ones doing since Root's doing like those A and S rank missions, the regular Anbu are doing some A rank missions, B rank missions, those missions that will make sure that people don't think like what's happening. And so now Naruto has gotten stronger for this to happen. And so now since Root and Anbu are doing tons of stuff, the Chunin since Anbu are doing most B rank missions, since the Chunin only has to do C rank basically and some B rank, and so now that's better. And Naruto also has wanted to change the regular the regular academy, and so he puts in new books about the Uzumaki clan and Namikaze clan, and he also wanted to add have better training and no more fangirls and all that kind of stuff. And so now it's overall better. Oh, and they also got Tsunade. And so now they added that one medical ninja to a group thing that Tsunade always wanted. And Tsunade's happy about this. And so she also starts training Sakura now to become the next head. And also people like Shizune starts training academy girls to become medical ninja. And so this will save lives. And Shizune actually has started training with Chunin or with Ino and all them with their teams and Tenten, that kind of stuff. And so they become the medical ninja. And so Kakashi joins I'm gonna take a Kakashi to Root. Yes, Kakashi will go to this new Root, but he won't get the seal because Naruto trusts Kakashi. Plus the seal makes them obey Naruto, and Naruto doesn't want that from his teacher, so Kakashi gets without it, but takes these S rank missions and stuff. And the Leaf Village is thriving and stuff, and so Naruto calls a Jonin meeting with Root and all that stuff. And so Danzo appears and says, yes, Hokage-sama. And Naruto says, I want to wage war on Otagaker. They've killed our late Sandim. They killed tons of people. We need to make them pay. And the leader of this force will be you, Danzo, and Jiraiya. And so Naruto has a chart, and he says, we can surround Otagaker. And so I'm gonna pull out a Naruto map. And so he says we will surround them from all sides. Yes, okay. Okay, that sounds right here. Okay. We will, and so the Fire Nation will surround the sound by going to the Whirlpool Village. And so they'll go to the Whirlpool, and they'll also go to Takigakur, and so then they'll go to the Fang, and they will surround Sound Village from each side, And Valley of the End is right next to it, like it's right there to Hokage, so they will go through that, and they'll go to Wave, like tons of ninja, and so they will surround them from all sides, and then Naruto will try out his new jutsu. So this is the jutsu Pain did, overpowered Almighty Push, and so Naruto says Shinran Tensei, Almighty Push, and the whole Otogaku gets wiped out, and then they see Orochimaru. And so, freaking Danzo and Jiraiya attack Orochimaru right off the bat. And this Orochimaru's kind of weakened more since. And so, Orochimaru fights back, but it's overwhelming. And all the ninja die, and so they finally take over Otogaku, and Orochimaru dies, and Kabuto dies, and so Naruto makes an announcement to the Leaf and says, "We have killed Orochimaru of the Sannin, and we have taken his village away. He is dead, and his village is dead." And so the crowd cheers, praising to the lords that the late third Hokage is avenged. And so, 2 years later, Naruto is sitting in his office, and Naruto had a sand agreement, and so Temari became Naruto's wife, and they're living. And so, now Naruto decides to fight back against the Akatsuki, and so he also learned to find Raijin and put a seal on Gaara. So when they hear Naruto transports to Gaara and is in the middle of the Akatsuki, and so Deidara and Sasori attack Naruto, but Naruto does, like, in a flash of lightning, ends them. And so, after Naruto beats them, Naruto destroys the Jidomazu. Yeah, I think it's weird how they do it, but they take Gaara away, and so Naruto kills Sasori and Deidara, and Naruto also uses sensory abilities and finds out where Itachi is, and Naruto tells Itachi, "You can come back to the Leaf," and he told them the truth, and he told Itachi that he can join Root, but he doesn't have to have the seal like the other people. Or, no, I'm gonna give him the seal. He'll have to get the seal. They don't trust him that much. And so he gets the seal, and so Itachi joins back, and when Pain attacks, Pain gets bodied by Naruto easily, and Naruto ends up killing Obito when at the Hokage summit, and because he tried to wage war, but he doesn't have anybody to wage war on. And Kisame died, just died, from Naruto sensing in Samahara sword. And so, the ninja world's good, and Naruto gets 10 children, because he marries Hinata also, and Shion and others, and they become part of the Uzumaki Namikaze clan, and Boruto is and just Boruto is from Hinata, Mito is from Temari, and other names, random names, and so Naruto they all become part of the Leaf, and they become very strong with Naruto as their dad. Naruto's my dad. And Naruto's firstborns and stuff will become like Jonin and go into Anbu or Root, and Danzo will be a happy guy, and Danzo will end up dying because of old age, and the role will go into Sai, and he'll become leader of Root, and the Leaf Village has become the strongest village, and they all get into it, and all 5 nations are in a time of peace. And so, this is it to What If Naruto Was the 5th Hokage. See you guys.